All right, greetings. And look at this, two in a row. So this is Body Culinary, and I'm inviting you once again into the food prep area. And today, I just wanted to just touch on something, and it's really about recipes. So for years, and quite often, I get asked, "What's the recipe? What's the recipe?" If I'm preparing something or people see me eating something, it's the recipe. And recipes are important. However, for a while I stopped focusing and giving out so many recipes, and there's a reason why, right? So let's think about it. There's no shortage of diet books, of takes on what do you call it? Eat for your blood type, Atkins, Zone, Keto, Paleo. Do we really need, after I don't know how many years, one more diet book? Do we really need more recipes? Many of us have juicers we're not using, blenders we're not using, food dryers, let alone exercise equipment that has laundry hanging off of it. So over the years, I'm always doing this experiment. It's a long experiment. An experiment is if I give people what it is that they said that they needed to change, would they change? And I have to say, majority, 98%, across the board, it wasn't necessarily so much about the recipe. And so I don't focus so on the recipes so much anymore. And now we'll come back to that because recipes are important. However, you can take someone that has an avid collection and have released a lot of food preparation books, health books, cookbooks, raw food books. I mean, I can't even tell you. I could probably buy land with the amount of money I've invested in libraries, educating myself, workshops, or just books and videotapes and audiobooks, which I've been doing for many years, going on 3 decades. But quite often we're accruing all of these tools, but what I have noticed pretty much across the board that quite often we don't activate the tools and use them. Quite often when we're working with trainers or coaches, many of us don't follow the instruction to the letter. And then we're complaining in the locker room to our friends, or we're talking about, we're on to the next thing when we never really applied the simple principles that was what was given to us. And then also a lot of times we may not comprehend our blind spots. So I would dare say a shift in mindset is maybe just as important, if not more important, than another recipe. So for example, if we're going to all the raw food restaurants, now I love to eat. I used to be a junk food junkie and I grew up on meat. And that is what it is, so it's really amazing to me that I'm not turned out anymore in junk food. My skin used to look like the sidewalk. So it's amazing when somebody gives me a compliment on my skin, because I know what this can do based on all the junk over those years that I put into it. But quite often, and also, I will also say, I'm trained in, I used to work at a holistic health center that specialized in fasting, right? And mainly nutritional fasting, right? There's a whole nother distinction. But quite often I would watch so many people, hundreds, if not thousands of people, go through all these fasting programs and protocols. And if I have to look at most of these people today, most of them did not maintain. Most of them did not get to and maintain their goal weight after the fast. I saw continuous binging and purging with fast, also with colonics. People would have these all-out, full-blown binges because they knew they were going to do a cleanse. So let me get it all in now. Let me get the alcohol in. Let me get the cheese nibs in. Let me get the Oreo cookies in. Let me get the health food store popcorn, the gargantuan bags of popcorn in, because tomorrow I'm fasting. And so I would say the foundation is skewed. It's very, very skewed. So I would say what I always wanted to, even as someone that used to compete in fitness, I know I don't want to live on a diet. I'm not going to do it. I enjoy food too much. So I was always looking to find the sweet spot and the happy medium of what I could live with sustainably in a way that I enjoy, is portable, and it's simple. And then my satisfaction quotient, I call it the satisfaction quotient, is up here, right? Where I used to work in a fine restaurant, one of the top restaurants in New York. And I remember thinking like, wow, my folks can't eat this food. My folks can't eat this food. And a lot of us would eat anything if it had red sauce on it. But I wanted to have like a fine dining experience, or a very sensual, colorful, beautiful to the nose and to your palate. I wanted to have this beautiful experience So, and also to be satiated. So that when I get up from the table, I've had such a sensory experience and I'm so satiated that it's like, wow, I don't want any more food, right? Imagine if you ate a whole pie or a pie and a half, right? And then you're like, literally, I know that's delicious, but I just don't want any more. So many of us don't experience satiation even at a cellular level. And a lot of us definitely don't experience it because we're eating all of these, what I call substances masquerading as food. And I don't want to be the party pooper, but a lot of these foods are even coming out of the health food store, right? And so I know a lot of us don't like to hear that. And we like, tell ourselves we're doing well because we took the flesh out. But if everything is a dripping cheese, nacho, burger, hot dog, French fry experience, how is that really helping to improve our immune system, right? And many of us may feel panicked. I know I did many years ago. I felt like, well, there's nothing to eat. As a matter of fact, one of the first health consultations I had almost 30 years ago, I was upset, angry, irritated, and I was like, I'm not eating any of that stuff on the list. Skin was looking jacked up. Somebody looking back, they were pretty on point with the consultation, but I had no concept of all of these things that were on the list for me to change. And I felt like it was too much at one time. So I was like, I'm not doing nothing. How about that? But, I'm the one that suffered with the, my face looking like the sidewalk with all these scars, on my face from acne. But it was just so much at one time. And distinction, I love distinctions because they really make the difference. I did not have a frame of reference for what to do with all the things on the list, right? I'm familiar with a Parmesan. I'm familiar with a burger and a hot dog. I know that's going to be salty, fatty. I know that's going to be delicious, even if it's not nutritious. I didn't have a frame of reference, for what to do with all of this stuff. I remember when I was growing up, we saw, the lettuce and stuff pre-cut in the bag. If anything, we did see fresh collard greens and lima beans, stuff like that. But I saw a lot of pre-made stuff in a bag, right? I saw Thousand Island and ranch dressing, or we used to do what I call the ghetto dressing, right? You put the ketchup and you put the mayonnaise, some onion, garlic powder, some black pepper, stir that sucker up, and there was your ranch dressing. If you want to be fancy, you take some dry parsley flakes and sprinkle it on it for color. So that was a lot of high end. So my palate really was introduced to a lot of fresh foods in culinary school, in particular the spices. Now, I will say the Caribbean side of my family, there's definitely a whole wardrobe of fresh spices that I use today. That is the base of the way that I prepare food. Even though it's whole and living and there's no animal flesh, I'm still very big on the flavor and the sensory, the pleasure, right? But also at the same time, the priority is that my cells are nourished, right? Because the food is fuel. We wanted to nourish our brain and we wanted to improve our immune system. And that being said, I talk about the ways of the grandmothers. I feel like good health food, I've always felt like it should be accessible. Why should I have to pay like $100, for lettuce or something? I think that's absolutely ridiculous. So I always come back full circle to Grandma Lou, right? And I'm going to trust Grandma and my two great grandmas because all three of them were in their 90s and they ate their own food. I didn't see them with a bunch of makeup on. I saw them rocking their own hair. And they all had some kind of herbal concoction. So if it's one thing I know, it's patterns, right? It's definitely patterns. So this lettuce actually has a lot of dirt on it. I just got this from a local farmer. And some of these simple principles, if you're buying the lettuce, where's my other lettuce? Oh, yeah. If you're buying lettuce and whatever vegetables are available in your area, if you're buying them local, they're going to taste a lot better. Look at that. And make sure you open up the leaves so you can get all of that dirt out of there, right? Some of us want the stuff so sterile and wonder why we don't have B12. We're taking all these B12 injections, but if you see that dirt on it, right? And hopefully if you get to walk barefoot in a garden, that's how we're getting B12. B12 is proliferated inside the gut, right? But many of us are so sterile, it's almost like we're eating hand sanitizer. That's how we want the food, but it should be dirty. If you see earthworms in your garden, that's a good sign, right? So it's kind of dark here, getting dark early because now we have jumped right into rainy season, which is good. So I'm so glad that we got lots of seeds into the ground. Eggplant, kale, curly kale, dwarf kale, collards, Thai basil, spinach, habanero peppers, but I like hot sauce. Ooh, I love me some hot sauce. As a matter of fact, where's that hot sauce? Grandma Lou will be proud. I don't know about y'all. I like me some hot sauce, honey. So if you had a cold and you ate my Grandma Lou's hot sauce, that cold will be running out of your body. So I have a live version of my Grandma Lou's hot sauce. This stuff is hot. If you get this stuff on your mouth is going to be burning. Too much of it, your bum C might burn a little. So, but this stuff, this is the bomb diggity. It's got fresh turmeric and garlic. And it's such a good, flavorful, good to you hot. So I make a nice little jar. I just said, just like Grandma Lou, I just said like a nice jar that's for like a neighbor. So that's that. So, and then the sunflower sprouts that I was growing outside, I harvested my own. And you know, any of y'all that eat sunflower sprouts, you know, sunflower sprouts can get real expensive, right? I think a little bag like this of sunflower sprouts at the food co-op, right, was about $3.49. So it's very, very easy to sprout them and grow them on your own. So people are like, oh, I can't grow anything because I'm in the city. I started out in a apartment in New York City, and I always had something in my mind that I'm going to grow my own food. Ask me why. I don't know. When it comes to mortar and pestles and old kitchen hand tools and growing my own food. So the sunflower sprouts, those are expensive. That's off the table. Anything going down, I can grow those easily, right? And then also I have some other different sprouts. I always have different sprouts, you know, and microgreens grown. So there's so much. Everybody can grow something. Everybody can grow something. And I dare say, this may sound super simple, that I invite folks. I don't tell grown folks what to do. I invite folks to consider that the ultimate beauty product is your health. The ultimate beauty product is your health. And it's nothing like being comfortable in your own skin. And for those folks out there that have acne, you know, I had it all over my face. And I even made a video. From time to time, I still may get a blemish, but I don't put anything on my skin. Maybe I might put coconut oil or raw shea butter or olive oil on my skin over here sometimes, but I don't put anything on my face except the foods that I'm eating them internally. And then also, believe it or not, that's what I'm putting on my face. So y'all can check it out at Natural Beauty, no products. And it was very liberating to throw the shower caddy away, right? And it's even more liberating to really, you know, figure I don't need anything and nothing. When I say nothing, not even oil inside of on my hair. So that's freedom. That's more currency for seeds and for travel, because that's actually quite a bit, you know, of finance and then of economics. And I also always consider that the women and the girls with this unique beauty stamp, I think it's very important for us to own the means of production for the things that we're using to beautify. So a lot of that come out of our own kitchen, even if it's in the windowsill. So I just wanted to come on just very quickly and just share. So the sunflower sprouts or greens, I have those. We eat the sunflower seeds raw. I make milk out of them. I have, the ways of the mothers and the grandmothers. That's the principles I'm living by, is that I'll take one thing and do many things with it, right? Because one time, those elders, they couldn't sometimes go to other folks' neighborhood. If they needed something, they needed a playground, they had to build their own playground, right? So I think a lot of those principles of not wasting, when y'all start growing, and it takes you about 3-4 months to grow a whole bunch of kale, or when it's taken us a while, we started banana trees from like a little cup, and now they're about almost 20 feet. When you have a whole harvest, I highly doubt you'll be tossing stuff in the garbage. You'll cut a little piece off that may not be looking so great, toss it in the compost, you let the ants get their part, and then you got your part. So it gives you a whole nother perspective and a respect for the foods that you're taking in that are going to become a part of your brain, your breast, your spleen, your liver, right? So I'm telling you, it's like, it's bigger than the label of vegan. I would say it's a level of awareness, and it's a level even of clarity, right? Of I just refuse to eat anything that's going to compromise my brain, at least not knowingly. That's going to compromise my brain, my immune system, my womb, my vitality, my energy. See, if we come at it that way, it's bigger than a label of vegan, where I could be ego tripping off of what I'm eating, right? I can still get not hit by a car tomorrow, but it's my intention to be 110% responsible for what I'm putting into my body. Plus, I really enjoy it. So if you really enjoy it, your satisfaction quotient is up here, then it's a no-brainer. So we take all that other stuff off the table, so I don't have to worry about dieting. It's sustainable. It's affordable. I've got medicine in the food. Just imagine that every meal is like medicine to your organs in your body. And it tastes good. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So anyway, I'm about to just make a quick meal with these things that I've sprouted in my house. Some things that are going to be coming up, I'm venturing into making my own miso. I've made my own kimchi. I've made my own soap. What else am I making here? I'm always making something in here. I've made my own tahini. You know, tahini, a jar of tahini over here is $32. I can buy a pound of sesame seeds for about $6 or $7. 32 versus $6 or $7. So go with me here. You see what I'm saying? So that's a dramatic difference. Also, if I'm buying things not inside jars and packages, again, I'm not paying all the advertising. I'm not dumping all this plastic, into the environment. So my cost goes way down. So the more you eat unprocessed whole foods that you can still recognize as food, your prices of your food are going to go down, but the weight of your grocery bag, of your produce bags, are going to go up. Does this make sense, what I'm saying? So just want to check in with y'all real quick. I'm about to throw some greens together for my beloved sister and I. We're enjoying these first rains that are coming in because it's been hot, super duper hot. And I keep walking out in the garden every day, and I'm seeing that the kale and the collard is just sprouting up. Also, that's dependent on good seeds. So, do check out the growing, because many people have asked me about starting a garden, so I can share with you from my humble experience. So check that workshop out, as well as healthy eating for all of those men folks that have been asking questions. Healthy eating for men. So again, I know plenty of men folks from the old South and from the Caribbean. They know how to iron. They know how to do laundry. They know some basic healing herbs and stuff, right? So that you can take care of yourself. This is a time. If you wasn't doing it before, if you weren't doing it before this next cycle hits, this is a time to really take your health care seriously. This is not medical care. This is health care. My goal is to stay out of the doctor's office, right? So, and then the other thing, one of my clients is like, oh my gosh, what you were saying is so true, that we weren't here before that diabetes compromised your immune system. So hint, 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 hint. You want to make it delicious and sustainable. Men folks, learn how to take care of yourself. You raise the standard for you and also for your family. Mabel, enjoy the videos. Would love to see the soap. I don't know if I put the soap on video. I have so much footage and content. My computer can't even keep up with it. But over here in Central America, it's very hard to find like a natural soap. And a lot of times I would make concoctions, again, from the fruits and vegetables, and not even really need soap on my skin. So I'm not drying my skin out with soap. Of course, private parts and stuff like that, your sacred parts, you can use soap with that, but not with a whole bunch of chemicals. So again, I'm just using the cold pressed coconut oil. Actually, I probably use coconut oil more on my skin or in the homemade soap than eating it, because your palate can change over time. So and grease used to be like gravy to me, but now it's amazing. My palate has changed over the years. So rather than just ruminating, obsessing without doing anything about, which is what many of us do when it comes to fitness and food. We got books, we got heart rate monitors, we got more videos, and a lot of times we don't get into the actual doing, right? The actual doing. I bet if I invited most of y'all into my food prep area and y'all were hanging out with me and we were making food and tasting it, then we were out on a yoga swing, right? And we were playing. That's one of the easiest ways that people learn. And also, it's support. Many people would do it if they had support and it was fun. It would be a no-brainer. So I like making things a no-brainer. That's why I invited y'all into the food prep area, right? Anyway, folks, create a great rest of the evening. Create a great day tomorrow on purpose. I encourage you to get some good rest. And something that's been coming up for me in the early day is, and I wouldn't call myself, being esoteric or whatever, but cultivating a craving, right? We all talk about cravings. I invite you to cultivate a craving for quiet, because many of us are struggling trying to lose weight. We're struggling. I invite you to just marinate on, just think about it. cultivating a craving for quiet. All right, folks, I will see y'all soon.